Good morning, and thanks for joining me for today's First Five. I hope you're off to a good start this morning. I don't know about you, but this week has been particularly rough. My family's been pretty busy this week, which isn't super out of the ordinary, but I think we're also adjusting to the change in seasons, which is always a little bit rough on us. So it's good to just take a moment, be with you, and just focus on God and Scripture and just learning together today. So I'm grateful for this time together. So we are going to continue on in the book of Luke with verses 20 through 26. And so Luke 20, verses 20 through 26 say this: Keeping a close watch on him, they sent spies who pretended to be honest. They hoped to catch Jesus in something he said so that they might hand him over to the power and authorities of the government. So the spies questioned him. Teacher, we know that you speak and teach what is right, and that you do not show partiality, but teach the way of God in accordance with the truth. Is it right for us to pay taxes to Caesar or not? He saw through their duplicity and said to them, Show me a denarius. Whose portrait and inscription are on it? Caesar's, they replied. He said to them, Then give to Caesar what is Caesar's, and to God what is God's. They were unable to trap him in what he had said there in public, and astonished by his answer, they became silent. So let's set the scene a little bit for this passage. So here in Luke 20, we see Jesus is in the temple teaching in Jerusalem, and he just got done teaching when he was confronted by some of these government officials who weren't really buying into the idea that Jesus was the Messiah. So they weren't huge fans of him. They were really trying to put Jesus in an uncomfortable situation by asking him this question that we see in verse 22, where it says, Is it right for us to pay taxes to Caesar or not? See, it was a trick question, and they knew it. If Jesus answered no, then the government officials would charge him with treason against Rome. And if he said yes, the Pharisees, the religious people, would accuse him of disloyalty to the Jewish nation. And he would lose the support of that group of people as well. So they bring this question to pay taxes or not to pay taxes. And that question was designed as a catch-22. There really was no win, but Jesus is brilliant, and he does answer that correctly. But you see, the Pharisees were super strict and legalistic in their beliefs and refused to pay the tax. They thought by doing so, they were saying that they served two kings, and they refused to acknowledge any other king but God. When Jesus said, Give to Caesar what is Caesar's, he was drawing a sharp line, a sharp distinction between the two kingdoms. See, there is a kingdom of this world, and Caesar held power over it. But there's another kingdom, not of this world, and Jesus is king of that. And as Christians, we're part of both kingdoms, at least temporarily. So under Caesar, we have certain obligations that involve material things. If we're going to live in the state or the country and enjoy all the privileges that come with it, then we certainly do have obligations. And as Christians, we should be the greatest citizens and take that responsibility very seriously. However, under Christ, we have obligations that involve things that are eternal. If Caesar's asking for money, give it to him. But make sure we also give God what he's asking for. See, Caesar minted coins. So these coins had his stamp on them, his picture, image stamped right on them. And as a tax, he demanded some of those coins in return, and that was his right to do so. But here's the truth. God has minted us, and he has stamped his image on every single one of us. So give Caesar his due, the temporary stuff of this world, but make sure to give God his due. Unlike Caesar, God isn't demanding that we give him anything in return, but his intention and his greatest desire is that we do. But we get to choose that. So I'll end with this today. Give Caesar what is Caesar's, but give God what is God's as well. And everything is God's. Every part of who we are and the way we live and the way we think and the way we act is God's, because we are his. So what do we still need to offer him today? Think about that, and then I encourage you to give that to God. He deserves everything and every part of us. Have a great day.